Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. After a long break, I mean, it was only a month, but it feels much longer than that. We are finally back for the second half, the spring half of the PEC season. My name is Bryce. I'm going to be your host for tonight, joined by my co-host Danner, and both of us are ecstatic to bring you guys even more Rocket League content as we kick off the first week, or week 10 of the PEC season, with Boise State versus Nebraska in a matchup that carries quite a bit of history and momentum on both sides of the aisle.
Absolutely. I mean, coming into this, Boise State comes in established, disciplined, and near the top of the standings, a program that expects results every time they load into the arena. But across the pitch stands Nebraska, a team that's shown they can trade blows with the best, steal games from the favorites, and turn pressure into opportunity. And this experience versus belief.
Yeah, this is going to be everybody's first week back after quite a long break. It's been a month. It's been a month away from competition, but definitely not a month away from practice. These players have been hard at work. They've been practicing their craft, honing the places that they need to go, and it'll be very interesting to see how they've improved on themselves from the past semester. We saw a lot of different places that people have been. We kind of know the standings of everybody. At the beginning of the season, we had quite a few wild cards in Minnesota, Baylor, and Utah. All of them being new to the scene. While we knew the players, we didn't know how they'd interact with each other. Now we got a little bit of groundwork. Everybody's sort of been figured out. And with the standings fairly well set, we do have a somewhat good idea of how everything's going to pan out from here.
Yeah, I think after that, getting that first semester under our belt, seeing how each team is going to play against each other. I mean, going into it, we had a few ideas of how they're going to play just based off of some rosters, but I think going through it, I mean, we now have a base idea, and now going into the second semester, it's going to be even better to see how these players are.
Yeah, but before we get into this game, we would like to take a moment to pay tribute to a player who has been the cornerstone of this program for years. Gabriel Gil Reynolds. Last month, he graduated from Boise State University, and with that, it truly feels like the end of an era. Gil began his journey with the Boise State Broncos back in 2021. Over the years, his impact has been undeniable. Helped bring him to 5 Mountain West titles, 3 CECC West Regional titles, and 3 CRL National Qualifier appearances, as well as a CRL Worlds appearance.
Gil called this place family, saying there was nothing like the bond he shared with his teammates, so it's a bittersweet feeling to begin this season without him on the roster. But as one chapter closes, another begins, and he's off to bigger and better things. We do want to wish Gil nothing but success in whatever comes next. From everyone here at Boise State University, thank you, Gil.
But like we were talking about a little bit earlier, Week 10 is opening up with a familiar matchup. The last time that these two met, it was all Broncos, a clean 3-0 sweep that showed Boise State's ability to control pace, capitalize on mistakes, and close without hesitation. That series still lingers, but it doesn't tell the full story, because since then, Nebraska has evolved. The Cornhuskers have taken games off top teams. They've proven they can swing momentum, punish overconfidence, and turn tight series into statement wins. This isn't a squad content with moral victories. They are here to disrupt the standings.
And Boise State, they enter spring week 1 near the top, carrying expectations and pressure. Nebraska comes in hungry, dangerous, and with nothing to lose. This isn't about past results. It's about whether Boise State can reaffirm their place, or if Nebraska is ready to flip the script when it matters most. Week 10, spring week 1, Boise State, Nebraska.
Yeah, the last time that these two teams met, the final scoreline was decisive in the favor of Boise State, but the series itself told a fairly different story. Boise State came in composed and clinical from the opening kickoff. They dictated tempo and punished every defensive gap. Game 1 was set the tone very early, but the quick rotations and sustained pressure proved a little bit too much for Nebraska.
Yeah, and I mean, as the series just went on, it was game after game that Boise State kind of just dominated the pitch. It was 2-1, 4-1, and 5-0 every game. Boise State taking the series 3-0. It was very decisive for the side of Boise State, and coming into this game, they're going to keep that momentum and confidence that they had last time into today, and hopefully it can be somewhat similar.
Yeah, I hope we do see a little bit more than just the flashes from Nebraska. We see that light completely turn on, and maybe it might just blind the Broncos. We don't know what they've been up to all season, but it will be incredibly fun to watch nonetheless. But with Nebraska's growth since then, this rematch will carry a lot more than what the numbers suggest. Game 1, it'll be Boise State versus Nebraska in what's bound to be an incredible match. I cannot wait to see how these guys play.
I would not be surprised if we see a several goal deficit here. And we're going to start it off with Dirtho right off the kickoff. Quick control. Fakes the low 50 and actually just going to fake out everyone. Promising. Trying to get something going here for the Cornhuskers now with half a game left to go. Maybe getting a shot here. Mincy is going to tie it up. Now it's Gill's turn. Into the air. Dribble. On target!
Gill! For the first time in a while, we haven't seen him on stage, but he's making himself known in a big way, scoring the second goal. Boise State finds themselves up 1 with less than a minute to go. And with 1 second remaining, if this ball touches the ground, overtime hopes are gone for Nebraska, and Boise State takes it. You see a world where Nebraska takes it.
I think that if they continue to bring out this lockdown defense that we are kind of surprised to be seeing here against a Boise State that is known for their offense, they can continue this, then it might just be kind of sketchy here going into the second game.
Another swap on the side of Nebraska. It'll be Creed on their side, and he's going to make himself known as he's going to put the first points on the board.
Everyone's making roster changes.
Yeah.
Everyone's subbing people in. But regardless, I think this is everything for the better for them. Creed getting the first goal here for Nebraska, putting them up early.
First time we've been over here in a while. Dirtho with the ball, going to play it up top, and it's going in right under promising. He might have done a bicycle flip, but unfortunately, style points do not equal saves.
Not quite. That is a great touch out of Dirtho, sending it to the ceiling and getting that extra touch, putting it left side, away from the defenders. Going to tie this game up fairly quickly, actually. That's a really good response out of Boise State.
Uzi going for a shot.
Oh, that one might just be
It's
open.
completely open, and it's going in.
It's 50'd out, and now Gill diving in for this ball, keeping pressure alive for Boise State. Now Creed getting bumped from the backboard, able to stay with it. Thompson's going to cut him off here. Boise State, they're not going to let up on this pressure. They want this third goal really badly. And Dirtho with a quick shot up.
He's going to put it in. Going to set it up, but stopped by promising at the expense of all of his boost. Midfield going to be grabbed by Woozy, taking it up to that right-hand side. Right in front of the goal is Dirtho.
Ooh, he's already up.
Put it in. It's pretty safe to say Boise State will bring themselves to match point.
They sure will, and a definite better scoreline from 2-1 to 4-1. They are going to be continuing this record. Are we going to see a 6-1 next game?
Maybe we might just see a 6-1.
Now it's going to be Preston sending it long, potentially to Woozy. I can see the vision, not quite making it out. Creed getting a demo onto Gill. Preston now from the ceiling. Lots of boost to his name, lots of control as well. Has to get over Mincy, and he died.
It's going to be in. That's in.
Woozy making a good initial 50, maybe even a follow-up touch. No, it's going to be Gill sending it long, trying to buy time into the hands of Woozy now. Have to take a boost and should be able to play this one out. Left side of the net.
Push it over. Oh man, I don't think I've ever seen somebody get juked like you do in basketball. You pump it up, try and make them think you're going to jump for it, pass it over your teammate, bang, goes right in the net.
This one bouncing up, Creed. Great control, but initially Gill is going to be able to shoot off, and this one rebounding off of Nebraska defenders.
Gill with a shot off the top. It's going to be blocked by Promising, but Preston, shot that goes wide, but
what a
Woozy
shot!
out of nowhere. We're at 4-0.
We are at 4-0. Great touch out of Promising, keeping that one out. Preston just shot little off. Oh, he pre-flipped the shot. There was no coordination on that, but he just pre-flips the touch and gets the goal. Nobody on Nebraska was expecting that one.
Gill and Preston both running up for the ball. Creed is not going to find it as Gill is
That's
going to
an
take it
open
away.
net!
An open net is going to lead Gill to score, effectively closing out this game. What a game out of Boise State, continuing their win streak to 15 consecutive game wins and making sure that they stay in the top 2, only beaten out by the undefeated Baylor. Last game against them, but we are going to be running up against some familiar faces. Representing the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, this is the Huskers Varsity Rocket League roster. Leading the lineup is Hugh Strumberger, competing as Creed RL, the composed presence known for smart positioning, controlled play, and alongside him is Brody Knack, better known as Cyan Delta. Adding to the pressure is Jaden Velasquez, playing as Electro 83, and Cade Wickham, or Mincy. All of them providing balance and consistency, contributing wherever the team needs it most.
That is the Nebraska side of things, but now looking over at the Boise State side, we have one of the strongest resumes in the league, sitting at 7-1. Leading the lineup is Dirtho, a consistent scoring threat who thrives on efficiency and smart positioning. And alongside him, Hydro brings speed and pressure, capable of turning loose balls into instant offense. Preston anchors the midfield with control and vision, and Woozy adds physicality and finishing.
Yeah, but you know what everybody needs to follow in order to win?
Doc's keys to the game.
That is correct. And in Rocket League, Doc's keys to the game are to punish overcommits, don't overstay, double commits are the power of friendship, and respect the rule 1. All of this, of course, brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, they're proud to be Boise's go-to team of local, multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. Visit blueribbonpainting.net for more information.
I gotta say, respect for rule 1. That's one of those unwritten rules of Rocket League you gotta follow, especially at this high level.
For anybody who may not know what a rule 1 is, it's when if both cars drive at each other and you don't bump off, you gotta keep the accelerator going. You gotta win the deadlock, and if you lose because of it, you can't blame the game. That's just rule 1, baby. But we're moving into the game. Speaking of 1, this is round 1, the first game of the second half of the PEC, Week 10, starting off the Cornhuskers and the Broncos.
And for anybody who isn't aware, this is the second semester of this league. Everyone coming in with already previous records, and this is all going to be best of 5s played throughout, and this right now is game 1. Now approaching 15 seconds in. This is pretty equal territory, but still on the side of Nebraska. Boise State with pressure and shot on by Boise. Close post follow-up by Durtho, and in. Boise State is not wasting any time to start off the semester.
They're ready to giddy up and go, and that is kind of the bread and butter combo that the Broncos have really liked to do. Have somebody run up, try to throw the ball in. If it hits the corner, it doesn't matter because Durtho's right there to back him up. It's something that they've been doing a lot, and it's what's resulted in quite a few goals. I mean, Durtho is kind of just the presence on the board who can do a whole lot of stuff, and he's put plenty in by himself, but a lot of help from Woozy and, of course, Preston have gotten a lot of goals for him.
Absolutely, and talking about Durtho, he sits second in the entire league in terms of goals at 32. He is outstandingly on top of the leaderboards throughout the season, and he's going to continue to do that here, adding his 33rd. Going into this, he is definitely one of the ones to watch out for on offense, and just like that, he's already pre-jumping his own teammates' touches. This is the kind of Boise State that you want to see. And also for the side of Nebraska, I'm seeing that Zimic is a new player we weren't ready for, but right now, are they ready for Woozy?
Just barely. Creed in the right spot. You didn't have to go very much higher to go up there, but unfortunately, the downfall is real, and Preston finds a way under.
It's a setup by Durtho. He fakes the double tap and leaves it for Preston. He called that one off so early, it gave time for Preston to read that ball off the backboard. The defense couldn't get up in time, and just like that, Boise State, just barely over a minute into this game, are leading 2-0, maybe even 3!
No! Oh, the kickoff goal from Preston! A little bit too overzealous in their kickoff pressure. Creed just barely too far to the right, and Preston's able to slide one right by.
They might have been practicing that in the offseason. I feel like that was very coordinated on the side of Boise State. Maybe they'll get a second one off. No, Preston opting for that mid-boost and leaving it for Woozy now on the backboard. Just trying to get it clear out. This one sending it long. Zimic just has to keep control, but only gives it to Durtho instead in the corner. Now off the ceiling, 50 out. Woozy just trying to get a simple pop shot on net, but it's not going to be anywhere near. Preston keeping the pressure alive. Boise State, though, are in command of this game early on and in command of this series to start it off.
Yeah, Mincy is another one that is from my experience, a newer player that we didn't see the last time, but now they are coming out swinging, having a good possession, but having to pass it over to Creed on the defensive side. Woozy is going to get demoed. Preston trying to punish the goal, but Mincy right where he needs to be.
Woozy now from the corner is going to get beat out pretty quickly. Creed trying to keep this ball close and trying to also get a Nebraska offense brewing, but nothing's happening. The 50s are just better. And Mincy now getting it mid for a potential teammate. Instead, Preston sends it up high. Woozy to Durtho. It's going to be all three players on the side of Boise State handling this ball. Just getting it across field. Preston, just simple touches here and there, buying time, because all they have to do is just waste it for the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds until they can win this game. But right now, that's not what they're going to be looking to do, as Woozy is just waiting on the opposite end of the field.
Yeah, Boise State has done a pretty good job at just shoehorning Nebraska onto the defensive side of things. Players like Zimic, he has the ball now, and he's actually been able to get a good run towards the goal, but Preston is just right where he needs to be, right in the way, and not able to break through as Durtho just puts it in the goal off the defender. Mincy is not able to save it twice. Boise State extending their lead to 4-0, and we are barely at the halfway mark.
Just acting as a brick wall right there in front of the net, making sure that rolls in. one in favor of Boise State, 4-0. Better start than game one of the last time these teams met. Last time it was a 2-1 finish in favor of Boise State. Now, very different scoreline as Durtho takes it up to the backboard, getting a double tap center for Preston! And a hat trick!
Starting off the season strong with a little bit of a hat trick. Man, he must have gotten a new hat because that is the fastest hat trick I've ever seen.
That was definitely fast. Barely halfway through this game. 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Boise State are up by 5. This is the dominance that we need out of this team. Not quite a kickoff goal into Nebraska, but still a valiant effort. And now Durtho from the sidewall looking to get it to just at least one teammate with a little bit of boost, and that's going to be nobody right now.
Yeah, Mincy going to find it in the middle, passing it over to Zimic. Nothing's really going to come out of that. Preston is able to stop it in time. Durtho trying to get a touch on it, isn't quite going to find it, but the ball goes to Woozy anyway, passing it right over to Preston, right towards the corner. The boost is going to be stolen. Nothing for him. He's going to go hungry, but Nebraska doesn't have any boost of their own. Had to use all of it to get the ball back, but as the ball comes rocketing towards Preston, is able to fill up his tank, and Mincy misses it in the air. Creed is going to try and grab it, but it goes a little high, and Durtho is going to push it away. And another offense stopped, and nobody's there to stop it, but Woozy missed.
Regardless, though, Boise State, they're going to buy their time. Preston taking this one out of the corner. Mincy just trying to get a send downfield. Creed shot on target, and it's going to be in.
You gotta hand it to Creed. He saw the shot. He took it. Very good shot out of Nebraska. Boise State got a little overzealous. Was able to thread the needle.
He turned back for that corner boost. I think he was waiting for it to spawn. Didn't expect the counterattack offense to happen that quickly. And just like that, Nebraska are on the board today. But with a minute left, they're going to need 4 more to try to force overtime. But with an offense like Boise State, it's going to be very difficult. And just like that, Durtho already on the offense.
Yeah, Durtho getting a demo quite early, especially on a player like Creed, who's done a lot on the defensive side. Zimic going to just tip it in, and Woozy isn't able to get there in time. Nebraska's putting their second point on the board, and we are just under a minute to go. The comeback might be real for Nebraska.
It might just be. I love the control out of Zimic there. I think this is his debut here in the PEC. I haven't seen him before, not when I was looking back at last semester's game, and he's proven himself right now, getting their second goal for Nebraska. And like I said, a minute left, you need 4. Well, there's 1. Now going to be working on the next 3 here pretty quickly.
Yeah, Preston going to go up for it. Is actually going to be tapped by Woozy. All of the Boise State players are on that left-hand side of the field. Mincy trying to push it back, isn't quite going to find it. The angle's just a bit off. Creed is going to stop it, passing it up to Zimic. Not going to find it off the wrong angle. The cart just wasn't quite where he wanted it. However, Durtho off the top rope, passing it towards the middle. Woozy going to take it away off the crossbar. It's going to be found.
I think it was a double off of Woozy and then a triple off of a defender. Let's watch this one back. 1 to the backboard, 2 off of him, 3 bounce, and then off of Zimic.
We see a lot of those goals from Woozy. Just being able to thread it between a defender and bounce it off of him. And if it doesn't go in, it's in a good spot to put it in afterwards. With 20 seconds left, I feel like it's fairly safe to say that Boise State have taken, 7 points. 5-point lead. I spoke too soon on how big the lead was.
You got to look at Woozy here. Back to the backboard again. Yeah. Simple double for him. That's going to go on target. Preston's going to make sure it goes in. But regardless, that is a 7-2 win, I'd say, in my books. I don't know.
Don't speak too soon.
There's a few seconds left. But regardless, Boise State not letting up here in the second half of PEC play. They are looking to continue their streak. They're 7-1 right now, and they don't want to get another loss on their record.
Yeah, especially because Boise State kind of have a little bit of a reverse schedule than they had last year. Last year, they started out with some of the heavier hitters of the league. I believe Baylor was in the first 3 games that they ended up playing. They played a lot of their strongest competition in the beginning. Now they actually have a few games to go until they hit the really strong competition, your first, third, and fourth places in the league. So we're going to have to see how these games beforehand sort of play into that. But before we do a little bit of speculating in that regard, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsor, the Idaho Air National Guard. What if you could pursue college and your dream career while serving your country and getting amazing benefits? The Idaho Air National Guard. Just 1 weekend a month, 8 months out of the year. You'll get tuition assistance, signing bonuses, healthcare, 0-down home loans, and high-tech job training, all while keeping your civilian life, goals, life, job, and goals right here in Idaho. Whether you're studying, working, or building your future, the Guard enhances it all while giving you leadership skills and lifelong connections. Ready to have it all? The Idaho Air National Guard is your pathway to education, career success, and purpose.
And I gotta say, out of that first game alone, the stats are not gonna lie. Durtho and Preston both putting up numbers. Durtho going 2 for 2 shots and goals, and Preston going 3 for 4. They are looking pretty consistent here to start it off. They are not letting up at all. I mean, if you're having a lot of shots on net, you would hope you get a lot of goals, but both of these players are proving that they are as consistent as their shots.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how many. You can have 100 shots, but if you're not making any of them, you might as well just not take the shot in the end. And that's really where one of the specialties of our players lie. They take the shots, and while they may miss them every now and again, you miss some of the shots you take. It's just part of life. However, they end up making the shots that matter the most, and that was definitely shown off in this game. I mean, that kickoff goal.
Yeah,
that was impressive. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, some might say, "Oh, that's luck." Oh, no, that was planned.
No, like I said, that was coordinated.
No.
That was not something you're just going to randomly see in some sort of silver or gold lobby. No, this is high-level SSL gameplay, and an open net out of Preston is going to be another one.
Yeah, Preston sees an open net, and he says he looks at that thing like a shopper on Black Friday. He says, "Nah, I'm gonna get that." And there he goes.
He's going to take the 30% discount and take that home within the hour, putting Boise State up 1-0, barely even 30 seconds into this one. That one just rolling slightly off. Uzi able to get a simple save out, and actually a Cookser pinch into that, getting it just farther away. Preston having to dive for this one out of the corner. Durtho in support, both going up the wall, and now off the ceiling, just has to reach it, just has to play the 50. He's going to play it low, he's going to play it dirty, and Boise State is going to go up 2-0.
Slides the key right under the doormat, right to where it needs to be, putting them up 2-0. I mean, I wouldn't count out Nebraska yet. They were able to put some sneaky points on the board last game. Their defense leaves a little bit to be desired in this game. However, I have a feeling that they can claw it back like they were during the last one. Durtho, though, with a good shot on goal, is not going to get the rebound, but that could have been bad. A 3-0 lead this early in the game is not what you want to see, especially from a team like Boise State, who can put up that offensive pressure. Woozy's going to go right over the defender, Mincy, as Preston is going to just pass it over to Durtho. This is like training practice for the two of them.
It was a 3-2-1 play. Woozy to Preston to Durtho. Everyone chipping in on this play. Boise State, I mean, this is what you want out of a roster like this. And I'm just now seeing it as now a 3-2 potentially?
I believe so.
Oh, Mincy's back.
Oh, yep. Durtho looking to get another shot on goal. Isn't quite going to find it this time. But, I mean, he's already made 2. Wait, no. Yes, he has already made 2. He's got to give it to Woozy. He's got to get a point on the board.
Woozy's got to get an accolade, but I don't think that'll be a problem with over 3.5 minutes left. Durtho, though, is going to put a third on. You talk about a quickest hat trick. How about that? Less than a minute and a half into this game.
You know like speed stacking, like with the speed cups. You got to get we got to get him a speed hat so he can just like stack hats.
Speed hat.
Yeah, it's like you know how you can stack the ball caps on top of each other. You just.
Regardless, I think the only thing he's going to be speeding around is these goals. Looking to add more to it. Preston now pinching that one out of the corner. Could be dangerous. No, into the hands of Durtho. Full tank in his pocket. Flipper set. Doesn't get around one, but it does go to Woozy. Pass around to Preston. Instead calls to leave it. And now Boise State trying to get it around 1, maybe 2. Woozy on target. There it is. Woozy going 1 for 1. Able to get on the board here in the game.
But look at this, look at the flick over from Preston, just right over Creed. It's like you have a younger sibling and you're just holding like a stuffed animal above him. Like, you can't get it, you can't get it. This is mine, you can't get it.
We have a 5-0 lead with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left. This is Boise State dominance here early. And right now, this is the standard you want to set going into the second semester. You want to prove to Baylor that they're a threat to be reckoned with this semester. I mean, they've been putting in hours to get ready for this next season. They want to fight for their defending PEC championship title.
Yeah, Baylor might be the only undefeated team in the league currently, but Boise State stands to threaten it with the gameplay that they're showing off here. Creed is going to get the demo, but Preston's just going to sneak it right over Mincy. Ah, man. while his breath may be minty fresh, that save was not quite there.
I mean, it was a valiant effort. He at least got a hand on it, but you got to put a little bit more into it. This is a Boise State team that is going to capitalize on every opportunity they are given, and they are not going to let off in any respects. They are going to make sure this is a lead no matter what. It's not going to be some 1-0 game and so they can get out of here. No, they want to set a precedent, and right now, that is a 6-0 lead with half the game remaining, making pace for 12-0.
Yeah, they are on pace to get into at least double digits. Even if they don't get the 6, all they need is another 4. And that'll be, I believe, the first double-digit game that we have seen in the PEC. As Durtho going to be passing it right over to Preston, but Zimic and Mincy are going to meet him over. Passing it right over the top of the goal. Creed is going to be the one to find it. Bumped away by one of his teammates. Durtho going with the ball. It's going to go over into that right-hand side and right back to the middle.
I think they're trying to like freestyle a little bit. You can see them trying to get these skims off the walls. Now Durtho from the ceiling. One in support. It's Woozy to the backboard, looking for the double. Instead, it's going to waterfall down and get pinched away. Still very one-sided game, down to the last minute and 45. Nebraska trying to get something brewing, but Durtho is just not going to let up at all. Trying to get another touch off the backboard, looking for his fourth. He is piling on the shots and goals here this game.
Yeah, Durtho with another shot on the midboard, passing it right to Zimic, who's going to be the one to intercept. Durtho, no boost in the tank at all. He's still going to find a touch, but Mincy is going to be right there, tipping the ball right back to the center as Creed is going to take a shot. Veering off to the left, unfortunately, as Preston is pushing it right over to Zimic. Right at the midfield, Preston. Going up, Durtho is going to miss under it. Not quite going to hit it, putting it right up in front of the goal. 1 minute remaining. Boise State has not scored in the past minute. Quite the big change of pace for the Broncos. However, the Cornhuskers need to capitalize on it.
They do need to capitalize. They want to try to get something on the board like they did late in the last game. But I feel like with the pressure and just the sheer confidence out of Boise State, this is not going to be the way it's going to go for them. Woozy now from the backboard looking for a teammate. Durtho now left with 0. Preston just trying to get some sort of latent touch off the sidewall. 2v1 here for Durtho. Sent high. Kind of lucky for him. Now he has to just survive for the next 30 seconds. Creed going up high with the 50s with Preston. Woozy able to get it out of the corner before Mincy just keeps the pressure alive for Nebraska. They need their first one, but with 20 seconds left, it's just getting closer and closer before the end and inevitable Game 3 with Boise State on match point.
Yeah, Woozy taking the ball up with 9 seconds remaining. Going to be pushed down by Zimic. They're looking for at least 1 point on the board. You can't end with a donut on the score line. Preston, 2 seconds left, and Mincy's going to find it. They aren't going scoreless this round, but it will still end up in Boise State's favor, taking them to match point.
Match point, 2-0. This is very reminiscent of last time they played. Granted, it's been a little bit bigger margins of scoreline, but I don't think that's going to change anything here. Going into match point, Boise State with all the momentum and all the confidence here. Nebraska, they need to take this next minute in their favor and try to come up with some sort of plan that they can go into the next game with.
Yeah, just looking at the shot map, Boise State had immense offensive pressure, more than I think Nebraska was really looking for. Looking at the accolades, Mincy was definitely the offensive threat. However, they needed to find a way to actually get him on the offense. While we wait for the next game to start, we would like to give another big shout out to ICCU. Thanks to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State esports. Thanks to them, Boise State has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit ICCU.com for more information.
I guarantee you that number is very close to 2,000, if not 2,500. This Boise State squad, along with all the others that we field here at Boise State Esports, are piling up wins every single week, adding on to their tally. I mean, this is a squad that Dog Haskell has been able to build over the past couple of years into a powerhouse of an esports program, one that rivals pretty much anything here in the Mountain West, if not the country.
Indeed, we have seen a lot of good play out of this program, and even outside of like the Mountain West, think of the PEC, the one we're watching right now, that extends from coast to coast, and Boise State is still in a really good spot. Don't forget that this Boise State Rocket League roster has also played in the CRL and RLCS as well, playing on a more professional stage and done fairly respectable. And we have been definitely seeing why in this game so far. With the kickoff going in the favor of Nebraska, Boise State, it's the longest they've been without scoring their first goal.
It has been the longest, but I don't think that will be any change for them now. Preston off the sidewall, just trying to get it past. Woozy trying to trail for that one. Instead, leaves it to Dirtho, sending it high, but into the hands of Mincy. And they're not going to let that backboard be undefended any longer. Still a shot on target, saved out by Zimic. Dirtho now, control to the ceiling. Looks for a reset, but it's going to get away from him. And now Woozy has to be the last man. He has to play it safe.
Yeah, Woozy doubling back, Mincy going on the offensive. He showed last game that he was the player to look out for on offense. Preston with the ball, playing it in the air, met by Creed. He's not going to fight it, and Woozy is going to come out of nowhere. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be your unbottled play of the game. Dairy protein that powers your performance. Refuel, recover, repeat. Visit unbottled.com for more information.
That is what we're talking about. That is the goal that is going to start their lead here early in Game 3. That is the lead that could potentially lead them to another 3-0 sweep here in the PEC. We saw them have quite a big streak there at the end of the first semester. Getting towards that latter half of the schedule, it got fairly simple. And just like that, that one is not a simple save. And with the back-to-backs, it's getting real dangerous. And now Woozy chasing up with plenty of boost. Creed trying to play him out. Instead gets demoed. Looking for the backboard double. Mincy able to keep it out, but a double demo on the side of Nebraska is going to make it a little awkward. Low boost on the side of them, but now Dirtho piling on pressure is going to keep Boise State in the game, trying to pile on their lead like they have in the past 2 games.
Something I have noticed out of this game, though, is Zimic and Mincy playing a lot better together on the defensive end of things. You're not seeing them double into the same ball over and over again. You see them playing a little bit more together, and of course you have Creed. They've been playing a lot better defense, but they need to get this ball onto offense and keep it there. Zimic and Mincy both had really good shots on goal, but Boise State was in the position to counter it and punch right back. You're seeing here, they're on the offensive pressure. They're starting their offensive pressure now, but Preston, in firm control of the ball, is going to be sending it right back. But Mincy has actually got something to say about it. He says, no, you're not going to send it back.
You're not. But regardless, though, pressure is the name of the game here. A little cooks a pinch downfield. Woozy ready to go. Redirect. Could have been on target, except Mincy got in the way first. Dirtho, not a flip reset in his back pocket to be able to be used, but still pressure in the midfield. Preston now from the backboard. Gets around 1. Continues to carry. Reset. Maybe around a second, and Dirtho trying to redirect it. Just close post, but now has to race back. Woozy trying to fight off the demo there. You saw Zimic try to dive in for that one, relieve pressure, and maybe get a goal for Nebraska, but no, it's going to go all the way back to their side once again.
Yeah, something I have noticed about the Boise State roster is they have just been able to flick it over everyone. But like I was talking about earlier, defensive pressure has completely ramped up. It is magnitudes better than it was last game out of Nebraska. I'm honestly speechless with that double shot that just turned into nothing.
All I heard was You just can't process what's happening here. Boise State are just so dominant on the offense. It's leaving you speechless. Preston now sending that one high again. It's going to get away from him, but Creed able to get at least 1 touch on it. Mincy sending it to the sidewall where Woozy awaits with a lot of boost, but it's going to get away from him. Zimic with a little pop shot on that. Dirtho, easy save. Going to follow up on this one. They need to get this ball rolling. 1.5 minutes left. This is easily the closest game it has been, whether it be due to Boise State intentionally or Nebraska stepping up their offense. It is keeping this one close, and with 1.5 minutes left, it's going to be very close. Preston now a lot of time in his hands. Maybe a teammate in support. Not quite.
Mincy, though, with some help from Creed, going to be taking it up. Actually, Creed looking to punish the goal, but Woozy, they're on a full tank of boost. Nothing for Nebraska to really use to punish that goal, and Boise State going to be taking it right back. Dirtho is going to get bumped out of the air, but Preston right there to back him up. Zimic trying to do a little bit of a nudge, but Preston going to get right next and back comes Zimic. And the save is made. The defense is mounting, but not enough. Woozy is able to sneak it right past the defense.
Sneaks it right on by, lets it play low. Actually, a double tap off the close post. Mincy not ready to read it with 0 boost in his tank. It's hard to do anything there. And if you look at the side of Nebraska, all their accolades are saves. There's 5 on the board for them and only 2 shots. They need a little bit more than that if they're going to want to have a shot here with 45 seconds left. Preston now taking that one low, playing a 50 with Creed and keeping Nebraska close here. This could be an opportunity. Zimic with a close shot. Just ringing off the crossbar.
Yeah, even with that crossbar, no one was really there to back it up either. Woozy with a shot back is going to actually get the demo on Zimic. They are down a player as Dirtho's going to shoot it up. Zimic finding his way back, but Mincy in the goal line, and Zimic's going to save it at the last second as Preston gets it off the crossbar. And who's there but Woozy? That's a hat trick in every single game.
That is a hat trick in every single game, and by a different player every single time, because it was Preston, Dirtho, and then Woozy.
That is true. Well, last game, Woozy and Dirtho got them. Actually, no. Preston. It was Preston and Dirtho, I think, who got it. I know there were 2 last game, but that doesn't really matter. It's Creed trying to get the ball out on defense. 6 seconds left, and with a 3-point deficit, Boise State is going to be your winner. And actually, no, it was almost a 4-point.
Almost.
Oh, that was very close for Boise State to get that there. Nebraska put up a much better defense in this game, but unfortunately, while they may say defense is the best offense, you still need a little bit of offense in order to win the game.
You do, and unfortunately, Nebraska is going to fall in the first week of the second semester. Week 10 is going to go to Boise State, though, 3-0, starting off strong, 8-1 record now. They are looking good going into the second semester. I mean, once again, Baylor, that's the spot that they're looking for. That's the team that they're looking to beat this semester. So I think everything going forward is going to be waiting for that.
Yeah, they need to crush the head honcho, and in order to do that, you got to warm yourself up a little bit, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Take a bit of the time, practice the things you need in-game, and really get it moving. And I'm really excited to see where Boise State continues to take their play as the games roll on, especially with a lot of the new stuff. And I mean, maybe it's like Nebraska. Maybe there are a few new players that we need to look out for on everybody's side.
I mean, for those teams that may have struggled last season, maybe they grabbed a few pickups over the offseason and they're trying to tinker around and trying to experiment. I mean, this was definitely an experiment, and it wasn't a bad one at that. I still think Zimic played very well in his first game that we've seen, at least. And I think that going forward, it can at least be a learning curve for him to get used to these high-level teams.
And with that, that will be the end of the first game of the PEC. Boise State coming out in a dominant showing, 3-0. But don't go away just yet. We do have a top 5 plays of the game, and after that, we are going to have an exclusive interview with one of our players. So make sure you stick around for that as we go into the top 5.
He called that one off so early, it gave time for Preston to read that ball off the backboard. The defense couldn't get up in time, and just like that, Boise State, just barely over a minute into this game, are leading 2-0, maybe even 3.
No! Reed is going to stop it, passing it up to Zimic. Not going to find it off the wrong angle. The card just was. Especially from a team like Boise State, who can put up that offensive pressure. Woozy's going to go right over the defender, Mincy, as Preston is going to just pass it over to Dirtho. This is
the hands of Dirtho, full tank in his pocket, flipper set. Doesn't get around 1, but it does go to Woozy. Pass around to Preston. Instead calls to leave it. And now Boise State trying to get it around 1, maybe 2. Woozy on target. There it is.
Right back. Dirtho is going to get bumped out of the air, but Preston right there to back him up. Zimic trying to do a little bit of a nudge, but Preston going to get right next and back comes Zimic. And the save is made. The defense is mounting, but not enough.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. Is finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great. Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
My friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits that help you life better. Because being human is a full-time job.
No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You've got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Chris is back indeed.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. My name is Bryce, and I am joined by Woozy after an incredible 3-0 sweep against Nebraska to start off the PEC season. So, Woozy, any just thoughts about the game before we start? How does it feel to be back?
I mean, it feels great. I feel like I never skipped a beat. So you say it's been a long time, but for me, it feels like yesterday.
I mean, it looked like you never skipped a beat. I mean, the only thing that was skipping is the ball over all the defenders. So, I mean, there was nothing really skipped in that gameplay at all, and that sort of leads me into my next question. What stood out to you in this game? I mean, obviously, it was fairly Boise State dominated. I shouldn't say fairly. It was Boise State dominated. But was there anything that really stood out?
So I think for us, it's all going to be about discipline. Doc's talking about it, just being able to stay disciplined even when we are, regardless of whether we are up, down, whether it's tied, just being able to keep a level head. So I think this proved a great opportunity that even if we were dominant, being able to stay focused all the way through is something that we're going to be focusing on for this semester.
Yeah, and we definitely saw that consistency throughout all of these games. I mean, especially in 1 and 2. A lot of good plays out of everybody on the team, and I mean, there was at least 2 hat tricks in the first 2 games, and then not to mention Game 3. I mean, you guys weren't as score heavy in that game, but still completely shutting out Nebraska. I mean, Krispy Kreme might have stopped making donuts, but you guys.
Nebraska did not.
One more thing about the gameplay. So Game 2, there was that kickoff goal. Was that planned?
Yes,
that
it
was planned.
It's a specific kickoff strategy where you intentionally pinch it with the other team, and your teammate is ready for that pinch. They're playing that pinch.
And what is that one called?
It originated in Europe from a team called Carmine Corps, so we just we call it Carmine or Carmine Corps.
Yeah, it should be called the crisscross applesauce. But overall, looking ahead at your schedule, this is week 1 against Nebraska. They are tied for 6th currently. I believe in 2 weeks from now, you guys are going to be playing Baylor, the number 1 seed in the country. How are games like this, and overall, how are you guys preparing for those bigger ticket games?
Hey, we're preparing by beating them in RLCS. I did beat 2 of the Baylor guys in RLCS in the first event.
Nice.
But on a separate note, I think once again it goes back to that discipline thing of staying like these early matches still serve a purpose of us like knowing that like, hey, if we can control ourselves and can control our tempo here, what's stopping us from doing it, whenever? And Baylor's no exception.
Yeah, and we definitely saw that tonight. You guys did a great job at staying focused, staying on target, really getting stuff done, and overall just taking the win as cleanly and comfortably as you could.
Efficiency.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game right now.
Yes, efficiency is definitely the name of the game and just about everything. And before we leave, are there any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
It's the first day back of classes. Shout out all my fellow students getting back in the lab. Shout out to my roommates who are probably in the trenches right now.
Day 1 in the trenches. They're serious.
They will be. They will be, though. So shout out to all my fellow students out there tonight.
All right. Well, thank you once again for the interview, Woozy. Good luck in your future games, and great game for tonight. But that is all that we have for you tonight, folks. Make sure you guys keep tuning in throughout the week, as we still have several games left to go. Tomorrow, Overwatch. Wednesday, Valorant. And, of course, rounding out the week, on Thursday, will be Super Smash Bros. And there is a lot of games left to play against Nebraska. Make sure you tune into all those, and we will all see you next time.